The project is called Wayward Strand, and it's set on a sky ship with a hospital on it, and it is anchored off the coast of Victoria near Inverloch, and it's from World War II, and the people within the hospital are mostly elderly people. You play a 13-year-old girl whose mum is the head nurse there, and so you've got a few days over school holidays to help her out. What's been really interesting to me is being able to contribute to a story about a girl and her mum. There's no mention of dad or anything like that. It's not explicit, but for me it's really nice to explore that relationship. Some of the other artists who are working on the game have thought about Australia in relationship to their identity as well, which is not something I've thought about. Don't know if that comes across in my want to get the hell out. But it's been really cool to think about Australian sounds and the history of Australian sounds, whether it's music or whether it's our nature. And I did an audio-only game recently where I played with all Australian wildlife, and it's quite iconic. It's quite easy to recognise an Australian sound. It's really cool, Australian bushland compared to bushland from anywhere else in the world. Our birds don't sound like birds. Half of our frogs sound like birds, but our birds sound like clocks or alarms or lasers. That's been interesting to work with. And to think about, who's listening to these sounds. Games do have a global audience when they're uploaded online straight away. And so much of our media is not Australian, how much we consume. So it's been interesting thinking about, okay, so as an Australian, I recognise these sounds in this game, but as someone just consuming media every day, I think that bird is actually an alarm. And if I hear that in-game, will I hear it as a bird or an alarm? And that's been fun. So I get to think about that in this game. Yeah.